Welcome to Gedi Maro. This is Sid आपके साथ on UAE's #1 Bollywood music station. This is the podcast जहाँ पे it's all about cars, it's all about automobiles, and it is all about जो भी industry के अंदर हो रहा है. And today, from the industry, I have somebody who is servicing the 1% of the population. Now, he is one gentleman जिनका काम जो है it is in Dubai, in Amsterdam, across Europe, and उनके जो clients हैं, he has the likes of Andrew Tate and his brother Christian Tate as well. Well, I have with me from Brian Custom Audios, Brian Milou. Did I get that right? Megu! Sorry!
Doesn't matter.
I'm sorry. It's okay. Brian Megu. Welcome on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
You're the go-to guy for that 1% of the population of the world when it comes to audio systems, and that too in supercars, in yachts, in mansions, in luxury mansions. So I just want to start off. Let's start off from the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. So where did it all start from, and how did it start? Were you always into sound music, or?
Yeah, actually, because I'm a school dropout.
Okay.
And I was always playing around with old speakers and old amplifiers.
And how long back are we going?
Then I'm talking about 35 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
35 years, yeah.
Right.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Always trying to do things with speakers and stuff. And,
correct.
But I had no background at all.
Okay.
So I remember at a certain point I went to a local shop. Maybe I was 12 or something.
And this is back in Amsterdam?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I went to a local shop. I just bought a subwoofer.
Okay.
And I brought it back home. I had an old amplifier.
Right.
And I was just connecting it and see, but there was no sound coming because there was no box.
Okay.
So I went to the supermarket.
Right.
I got a carton box.
Correct.
I brought it back. I cut a hole. I put it in. It sounded slightly better.
Right.
But still, it was dramatic.
It wasn't as good.
No, not at all.
No.
But I mean, we're about the same age. So in that time, there was no internet.
True that.
So
it was just hit and try.
Exactly. So I went to a library, found some books about speakers,
sound engineering,
about some simple stuff and things.
Right.
And then I found out that you have to have something more solid, so something wood or something like that.
Correct.
So you start cutting some wood. It's leaking everywhere. Trying to put it together, with just 1 or 2 screws.
Correct.
Sounded again slightly better, but it was still not doing like properly.
Right.
And I mean, investigating a lot,
but that every single time it got better, you got that high, right?
Trial and error.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It was like, this is better. I'm doing something on the right direction. It's going somewhere.
Exactly.
Right.
And then I'm sure you can remember this as well. There was a lot of these American magazines, where they were showing off the American sound competitions and stuff.
Correct, yes.
So I bought all of them every month and read all about it and was doing some investigations and stuff.
Right.
And then I tried to improve it.
You were looking at the American sound magazines,
yes,
and we were looking at some other magazines.
Exactly.
Those were all imported.
Exactly.
We had those ones. So yeah.
That's where it went wrong with me.
I know.
Maybe I should have had the other ones.
I think right now it's gone well for you.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, so that's how it started off.
That's how it started, yeah.
Okay, but that was just the beginning of you getting into the industry.
Yeah.
For accessories, for sound systems.
No, but at that time I was still doing it as a hobby.
Right.
Just to try things and whatever.
But then how did it come from there to getting into supercars, getting into hypercars, and making sound systems for those beauties?
Yeah, so I started working in a local shop to do like all these accessories, also audio, but everything you can imagine, like navigation systems, backup cameras, all these things.
Correct.
And I was very interested in doing slightly bigger projects, but that was not really the shop to do these crazy things.
Right.
So at a certain point, 2006, I was able to open up my own shop.
Okay.
So a nice shop.
And that was in Dubai?
No, that was in Amsterdam.
Oh, we're still in Amsterdam.
Still in Amsterdam. Yeah, still in Amsterdam. Yeah.
Okay.
And opened up a small shop with a workshop and everything nice and clean. And the cars became slightly nicer.
Okay.
You know, we went from Toyotas to Volkswagen to BMW, to Porsche.
Correct.
You know?
Yep.
People started talking about it. And then I always had Dubai in my mind because I saw a lot on these car news website about Dubai and crazy cars and Ferraris, and like the rest of the world, everyone thought every single guy in Dubai was driving a supercar, right? Even the delivery drivers and the police, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
So I kept on chasing like how to reach people, you know, and that's extremely difficult. If you have to enter a new market, it's almost impossible. So eventually I found one Dutch guy living in Dubai, having a media company. And on his LinkedIn page, I saw that he did something as a referral from the Ferrari Owners Club of Dubai. Yeah. So I just sent him a message. I said, hey, this is Brian. How are you doing? This is what I do. I have recently, I had done 2 Ferraris 458 in the Netherlands.
Right.
So I sent him those pictures and videos. I was like, I don't know how to enter the market. Maybe you know how to get in touch with the Ferrari Owners Club. And then he emailed me back the next day. He said like, hi, thanks for your...
He emailed you back because there was no Facebook and Instagram at that point in time.
No.
Yeah.
Facebook was just starting, I think.
Yeah, Orkut had just finished off. Facebook was there. It was just starting off. That was more of... They were just putting up posts and pictures and all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing compared to the social media we have now.
Yeah.
So he told me that his uncle was the president of the Ferrari Owners Club at that time.
So you hit the nail on the head?
Yeah. Lucky shot.
Very good.
Very lucky shot.
Very good. LinkedIn helped.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
And so he got in touch with me, and then he told me that one of the members of the Ferrari Owners Club was crazy about music.
Okay.
And he wanted to try it. So I was like, okay, but how are we going to do this now?
Right.
I said, I have no clue. I have no clue.
I have the means. I know what to do, but how?
Yeah, so he told me like, okay, do you want us to send the car? I said, what do you mean? He said, no, if you want, we can put the car on a plane, send it to Amsterdam. You can collect it from the airport, and then you can work on it. I was like, but how? It's just, okay, we can arrange it if you want.
Right.
I said, okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and within 3 or 4 days, I had the car.
That's a big...
And they've never met me before.
Exactly. That's like a big trust that they're putting in you with the car, just sending it across.
Absolutely.
So...
No, I was shocked.
Right.
I was really shocked, you know. And then I worked on a car. The president of the Ferrari Owners Club also came to Amsterdam to visit me. So we had a very nice conversation. I was super nervous, of course. But within 1 minute, I found out, you know, he's a very nice guy and very humble and very chilled.
Right.
So, I finished the car. Then we sent the car back. I was invited as well to come to Dubai. That was my first time.
Correct. Okay.
December 2012. Yeah. And we went to the client, delivered the car. He was very happy.
Right.
He gave me more orders.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So
that's how it started.
That's how it really started. Yeah.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
So now from that Ferrari, let's talk about to the most famous of your builds, so to speak.
Which one do you mean?
Let's talk about the Bugatti Chiron.
Yes, exactly.
The one which is Andrew Tate's Bugatti.
Yes, exactly.
So tell us a little bit about that. Did he get in touch with you or you got in touch with him? How did it happen?
Yeah, so one of his close friends, Jules, I was already close with him. I met him already a few years ago.
Right.
Did one of his cars. He was very happy.
Right.
At a certain point, I got my 488. I bought it here in Dubai. I sent it to Amsterdam to do the sound system.
Right.
Because I was in no rush at all and I really wanted to improve every single element.
Okay.
You know, and I would not care if it would take 1 week or 1 month or 1 year, you know.
Correct.
So I worked on it for 6 months in total. Then I sent the car back. And there was a track day of the Ferrari Owners Club in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
And I was driving on the track and I saw a A12 in front of me.
Right.
So I was trying to keep up with the car and that went well on the corners, but in the straight A12 is faster.
Of course.
So we were playing around for a few laps. And And then at a certain point they stopped the track day. So we went in the pits, and I stepped out of the car, and that guy stepped out of the car as well.
Okay.
And we looked at each other like, So that was Jules.
Okay.
And it was me, right? But at the track we didn't.
You didn't know.
So we were laughing, having fun and stuff, and showed him the sound system.
Right.
And then certain point he said, one of my friends is very interested probably.
Okay.
One day you should meet him. It's like, okay, fine. But I didn't know who he was talking about,
Correct.
Okay.
It could be any friend.
It could be any friend.
It could be anybody. Yeah.
Especially here in Dubai.
Of course. Everybody,
Yes. So we had some times that I was in Dubai and the guy was not there, or other way around, that they were here, and he called me and said, no, I'm in Amsterdam. I said, oh, shit. So coincidentally, after a few months or something like that, I was in Dubai, and he said, okay, we're going to go for a drive with a group of friends. You want to join? Yeah, of course.
Of course.
So I went to his house.
Right.
It was like 15 cars outside. So, okay, fine. I just entered. I didn't know what to expect at all. So I entered his house, and at a certain point, Jules came to me. He said, you have to meet him. I was like, oh, okay, that's Andrew Tate.
I've seen that guy.
Yeah.
I've seen him on internet.
Yes. So I walked to him. I said, hi, I'm Brian.
Right.
And the only thing he said, he shook my hand. He said, I know exactly who you are. You're going to cost me a shitload of money. I was looking at him like, what? He started laughing. He said, no, it's okay. It's fine.
Right.
He said, so he told me that Jules already explained everything and whatever. I said, okay, come to my car, and then I can show you.
Right.
And he was very impressed, and because he has never heard anything like that, especially not in a supercar, right?
Correct.
So he was very interested, and he said, okay, let's share numbers and let's stay in touch.
So how long did it take for his car to get completely done?
The total project, I had it with me for 7 weeks in total.
And what all did you do in those 7 weeks? What all changed?
Yeah, so basically, the thing was, before we got the project,
right,
he was like, when he got delivery of the car, I saw it on Instagram, of course. Right. So I thought it was a beautiful color, the spec is amazing.
True.
So I just sent him a message like, congratulations on the car, it's beautiful. He said, thank you so much. And then after 1 hour, he texted me back. He said, have you ever done a sound system in a Bugatti? And I texted him back, no, but yours will be my first.
Right.
And he loved that answer, But eventually we started talking about the project. He said, okay, I trust you, whatever. Yeah. But nobody else has done anything in the world.
True.
I said, no, so, I cannot rush it. I can imagine if you give me the car that you want it back as soon as possible. But we're talking about a very special car, very expensive and stuff.
Correct.
I don't want to rush it. And there was no reference. I cannot call anyone to see what they have done or how to dismantle the car.
Absolutely.
So he said, okay, take your time. Doesn't matter as long as it doesn't take a few years, for example. But just take your time, keep me updated, and do it. So first, when I got the car, we started dismantling the car very carefully, of course, and to document everything properly. And then, we had to investigate what is the current sound system,
right,
and what can be done to improve it massively.
Right.
So, in case of the Bugatti Chiron, I'm sure many people would not understand why someone would change the sound system.
Right.
But people who have a Bugatti or have ever sit in a Bugatti, they also know that the sound system is slightly better than an iPhone on loudspeaker. Yeah, and I'm not joking. Honestly, I'm not joking. Ask any Bugatti owner. Ask any Bugatti owner. If you ever have a chance to sit in a
They
Bugatti.
Put all the money on the car except the sound system.
Yeah, the thing is that they have worked together with a quite good big German speaker brand,
right,
which delivered quite awesome speakers.
Right.
But then Bugatti has put in a very low power amplifier.
Okay.
It's like 6 times 10 watts.
Right.
Which is from an Audi A6. Because it was still on the Volkswagen group.
Right.
I understand why they do that, because all the electronics and stuff and things, and they would rather go for something which is already in their cars for many years.
Right.
But there was no power, right? And what they did also, they made mid-ranges in the doors, they made tweeters in the dashboard, They have tweeters in the back.
Right.
And they made it like a subwoofer casing in the back. You know, in the Bugatti you have this light arch, right?
Correct.
The LED strip. Behind it, it's a subwoofer box.
Right.
But they made it from very thin plastic.
Material. Plastic.
Super thin. It's like super thin.
Okay.
So it can never sound solid. Impossible. And it's also very small. So eventually I made a plan. The original amp is in the passenger floor.
Okay.
So I made a plan. Remove the amp. Replace it with a digital sound processor.
Okay.
Yeah, so I get the signals from the car and I can process everything by laptop.
Right.
And since the subwoofer enclosure is too small, I was like, you know what we can do? We use that space for amplifiers.
Right.
So we can fit proper power.
Correct.
And if you look at the door panels, there is one pocket which you can open to put your sunglass or whatever, in his case, cigars, of course.
Right.
And there's a front pocket which is open, but you cannot really put anything in there.
It's just there.
It's there, it's small, and the opening is also quite small. So
Right.
you cannot really reach it comfortably.
Correct.
So I called Andrew. I said, you know what? I think I have a plan, but it will take some effort. He
Right.
said, okay, but what are you planning of?
Right.
I said, no, ideally, we should cut the doors.
What was the first reaction you got?
Before I finished this sentence, he shouted, yes!
So he is as crazy as he looks.
Yeah.
As he seems.
Yes, yeah, but film it properly. Post it properly. This will be insane.
Okay.
I said, okay, but can I please explain what I'm planning to do? He said, yeah, whatever, it's fine. I trust you. Consider it your car.
Right.
What would you do if it was your car? I said, yeah, I would cut the door panel, make something nice and decent and proper,
Right.
finish it in a way that it still looks like it came from factory,
True that.
like very proper, but yeah.
But you have to have stuff inside that works, that just gives the sound out.
Yes. He said, okay, cut it. Okay, cool.
And that's how you went ahead with
Yeah.
it.
So by cutting in the door panel and making proper solid aluminum adapters, which is like extremely well engineered, we engineered completely new speakers,
Right.
especially for this project. So basically we created subwoofer boxes from the doors.
So this was basically the prototype for all the other Bugatti
Yes.
ones that you've done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And ironically, I never cut in any car. I never cut in any wire. I used the right connectors to not to mess up the car in any way,
Right.
not to drill any hole, not to remove anything. You know, everything is built around the car. Sorry, in a way that it's like,
As original as possible.
yes, you know,
Right.
minimum the same quality as the factory makes their parts.
True.
Minimum.
Right.
Sometimes even higher. And ironically, in the Bugatti, we
You had to do everything
cutting
else.
door panels. Yeah.
True that.
Yeah.
True that. True that.
But on the other side, also in terms of cables, because adding a speaker means you have to run a new cable.
Absolutely.
So I investigated in the connectors which are in the door, which connects the electric wiring from the car to the door. Before we cut everything, of course, we did proper investigation. And when I opened it, I saw there is some empty
Slots there.
slots, exactly,
Right.
with pins and stuff. So I
Correct.
investigated which pins are used. They were used from a certain Audi A6.
Right.
So I ordered these pins, the male and the female ones, and we connected them from both sides into the factory grommets and the factory looms, everything together. Even
Correct.
find the exact same electrical tape which is used in the car. So
Nice.
in any case, if a Bugatti mechanic opens the car, except for seeing those speakers,
Right.
he will never
Understand what
understand what happened, or he will never see the difference what I did or what is original from the factory.
happened. Now
And
the
that's
big
the way
question.
how I really like to work.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, if you're doing it, you do it properly. Otherwise,
Yes.
there's no point just doing a half-assed.
Yes, and 98% of my work is not seen when I'm done, right?
Correct.
And sometimes people
And it should be that way.
Exactly.
If it's seen, then it's not done properly.
Exactly.
Right.
And many times I see projects and you remove one panel, it's like, okay, you know,
There's a nest.
it's a
Some
mess or
eggs.
something, or they
Yeah,
they use shortcuts or something like that. That's not the way how I work. Everything should be proper. If
Absolutely.
the car goes to the garage, if they open it, because sometimes I get questions also about the warranty of the car, for example.
Correct.
But the way we work, they cannot even see it.
Right.
And if they see it, they also see the level of attention You know, so there's no point of voiding the warranty of the car.
And you are working with cars which are worth millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You cannot just do just a shoddy job.
No, but even if it's a normal car or
you cannot
affordable
do
car.
that. It just doesn't work that way.
Exactly.
Yeah. So did it happen here in Dubai?
No, the first Bugatti I did that in Amsterdam. Then I did one here.
Right.
I did one again in Amsterdam.
Okay.
From a client from Switzerland.
Okay.
And there's more pending.
Brilliant. So all happening all over the place.
Yes.
Okay. Now the big question: how much did it cost for Andrew's Chiron?
I cannot speak about prices.
Okay.
I
Six
cannot.
6 digits, 7 digits. What are we talking? Just a ballpark.
6.
6 digits. Okay. All right. Cool. Now, coming to the whole point of the one thing that stood out in that particular video where Andrew is there and you guys are just you're giving the delivery and he's hearing the one line which just stays with me is I want to see Tristan's Lada. You do the audio for Tristan's Lada.
Yes.
And I was like, these guys have a Lada as well.
Yes.
It's amazing. Like on one side you have the Bugattis and on one side you have the Ladas.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
did you get a chance to work on that?
No, because what happened, the funny side of this story, I did an A12 competition for them last year in Romania.
Right.
And I handed it over to Andrew. We made a nice video showing the car and whatever.
Right.
So when we did the one here in Dubai, I mean, it's the same car. Different color, but it's the same car.
Correct.
So when he collected the car, he was like, you know what? I can review the car the same way we did last year, but I think it's more funny if Tristan does it.
Right.
Because he doesn't listen to music at all.
Oh.
At all.
No.
Zero.
Okay.
Zero.
Okay.
Zero. Absolutely zero. He's the only one in the world not listening to music at all. Seriously. So
you must be hating him. You would be hating him.
No. But it's quite funny because also
you're just kicking my lunch.
no, because the funny thing is that also Tristan always has been thinking that the sound systems are only about loud.
Right.
Because that's the only thing he hears, right?
Right.
But I know that he really appreciates quality.
Correct.
In anything. Even if he's not interested in something, but he knows something is made with passion, craftsmanship, and something, he's very interested in those things.
Right.
Details matters the most. So when I delivered the A12 here,
Right.
it was like, okay, fine, let's review the car. So he was very impressed because this was the first time that he really understood what I do and what is high quality sound about.
Right.
So I really had the chance also to explain him, like, okay, of course, in all the videos you see, also if you look on my Instagram, most of the videos are the reaction of people hearing the sound system at a very high volume.
Correct.
Because that's the only thing that impresses on a video.
True.
The sound quality part, you cannot film it. You cannot record it. You cannot give
No, you can't.
Exactly. So those videos, if I would make them, they will get maybe 5 views.
Correct.
You know? So that's also what I explained to him. And then he really understood the quality. And then he said, if he's going to send the Lada to Dubai, let's do something crazy in that.
Right. So we're waiting for that one.
Yeah, that will be quite interesting.
That would be quite interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, but going back to your passion.
Yeah.
Right? So what we were discussing before we started over the podcast, every person I have seen, every audio engineer, every guy who is passionate about music, about sound, so to speak, whenever he gets a new sound system or he installs something, there is one particular track, one particular music that they play, in your case, to showcase what you have done with the project.
Yeah.
Or in somebody else's case, how they want to just show off.
Yeah, true.
You know, I've got this massive sound system and see how good it sounds. Like back in the day, it used to be Enigma for our generation.
Yes, exactly.
So today, has it changed or is it still the same?
It depends. In my case, it changes a lot.
Right.
You know, because I have like a playlist of 100 songs, which I use to test, to go through the whole system and to each track has a specific element in it, which I need to check.
Right.
But when I do the handover to a client or some demonstration to someone,
right.
Also depends a bit on my mood, but I always do 2 songs. One song which demonstrates the sound quality and the sound stage of the sound system. So to give the impression that the singer or singeress is in front of you on the dashboard.
Right.
Some Guns N' Roses recordings in a cappella are very nice.
In a cappella?
Yeah. These are the bootlegs which they also recorded back in the days.
Oh, fantastic.
And on some special edition albums, they still have it.
Fantastic.
Which is very fine. After the podcast, I will share you the playlist. You will appreciate
I would love it
a lot.
Yeah.
So I always try to do one of those songs. There is one lady, I forgot her name, but she made an a cappella from the song Kiss.
Okay.
From I Was Made for Loving You.
Yeah.
But in a very nice way. And her voice is amazing. So if you listen to that on a really high-end hi-fi system, then you will be amazed.
Okay.
So either one of those. And then, of course, in the second part, it's all about loud and bass. For example, Turn Down for What? From DJ Snake.
Right.
It's a nice one. Many other songs. Some people like rap music more.
Okay.
There is so many, you know.
I'm sure.
There's so many.
Okay. Acha, now let's talk about the most eccentric build that you've done, or the most one project that just stands out from so many projects that you've done. Is there one which is right up there?
I did many, but one of the biggest systems I have done is in a penthouse in London Mayfair, central London. I think it was the most expensive penthouse sold in Europe.
Okay.
It's 2,000 square meters, massive.
Right.
2 floors.
Right.
Did the whole sound system. We had, these AV racks. The full racks.
Yeah.
So this project had in the total of 12 racks for everything, for the whole electric system.
Okay.
And I had 4 of those racks full with amplifiers, processors. Yeah, we had 308 individual speaker channels.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much wire was used in that whole project?
I delivered 16 kilometers of 4-core speaker wire.
I'm sure.
Yes.
16 kilometers.
16 kilometers.
It would be massive, though.
Yeah.
I mean, just the company who would be supplying the wire must be.
Yeah, they were asking what I'm doing. So I told them I'm doing one penthouse, and they thought I was joking.
So what's next? Next on the chart, where are we going next?
There are some projects which I cannot speak about yet, unfortunately. I'm gonna do another villa here in Dubai, which will start any day soon. Now we're still in the design stage and putting the wiring diagrams and everything. Okay. And making sure everything will arrive in Dubai in time to install it. Yeah. Of course, there are some cars which I have to do for our friend. Right. Yeah. Just need to plan it properly. So the next one was supposed to be the Pagani. Okay. With something crazy as well. Right. But I'm sure you know that they went on the track and one stone hit the glass panel on the roof. Right. So the car had to. It's back in the shop. Be repaired first, and correct. I think there's a huge delay also with the window and something like that. So I was like, you know what? No rush. You know. And to be very honest, in summer I prefer to do projects in Amsterdam or whatever instead of Dubai because it's still quite hot. True that. So I mean, if someone is interested in doing something right now, I will do it. But prefer to do September, October. Makes sense. You know? Makes sense. And most people are traveling anyway now, so that's fine. That's fair enough. Okay, so yachts or cars, which are more fun? Cars as in supercars. We're not talking about normal cars. No, okay. Supercars, hypercars are always fun to do, to work on, especially if it's something new. Okay. Something new to develop from scratch. Yeah. You know, that's the nicest thing. Yeah. In a yacht or house, it's also a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you have many more different factors which you have to think of. If it's a yacht, for example, I did some crazy yachts which were used for crazy parties, for example.
Right.
It doesn't matter, you know, it's like, okay, fill it up with as many speakers as you want, as many amps as you want. You can go crazy, you know?
Right.
And also thinking
But how many amps have you put, the maximum number of amps that you've put in a place?
in this penthouse in London, 54. 54 19-inch rack amps.
Brilliant.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
I mean, 4 full-size racks.
So
Full.
what they were building IMAXs there, or what?
No,
was
I
it?
mean, in every room, like 4 guest rooms, master bedroom, in all the bathrooms,
Right.
the main area, dining area, everywhere, hallway.
No, that's
everywhere.
fine. You don't have to explain. Yeah, that's fine. They're paying you. That's okay.
Yeah.
Right. But you're one of those guys who is going just against each and every car company who says that engine noise is the best noise in the car. But you're saying that I can make it better in the supercars.
I'm saying if someone wants something extraordinary,
Right.
then I'm the guy, because I come up with crazy ideas to improve it.
True.
Consider this as well. You're gonna buy a new car, any car, it doesn't matter.
Huh.
How many options do you have for outside colors? Let's say
number of.
Let's say in general, 20, 25.
Yeah.
Let's say give it any number.
Right.
Interior.
Half of that, maybe.
Okay. If you look into supercars, Ferrari, McLaren, Bentley, doesn't matter. Anything.
Right.
Yeah. We have maybe the same number or maybe more.
Right.
And then most of them, if not all of them, have a special program, right? Where you can choose. So if you go there, if you go to Ferrari and you get a tailor-made car, and you say, I want this exact same, I want the seats exactly the same,
Correct.
they can make it for you.
True that.
At the price,
Yep.
but they can make it for you, right?
True that.
Exterior color as well.
True that.
It's both personal, right? How about sound systems?
Nobody thinks about that.
There's only 2, sometimes 3 options. Porsche has, for example, bass, so the basic, Bose, and Burmester. And that's it.
Right.
But don't you think that sound is as personal as a color or configuration of the car?
Absolutely.
You can choose the lining, the piping, you can choose, you want your logo in your seat, you can choose all of these things.
Right.
Think about it. How you want your steering wheel? You want with the Italian flag in the middle, whatever.
True that.
But sound, music is as personal.
Yeah.
And maybe even more important. But no one is offering that.
That's where you come in.
Yes. There's also a lot of people who buy a car, either a new car which is on stock because they don't want to wait for 1.5 years or 2 years, or they buy it like second-hand or something, and they modify it in the way they want it.
Correct.
So they buy a red car and they wrap it or paint it or something like that, for example.
Correct.
Which is commonly done, right? I do this with sound systems. So I'm not the guy saying that the sound systems are shit. I have my opinion. Yes, I think it's shit, of course. But I'm not saying that my clients' cars are shit. You get my point?
Yeah, absolutely.
But if someone is not completely happy with their new car because the sound is not performing the way they want to, then I can help out.
Can make it better.
Yes.
Before I let you go, I want to ask you that need money for sound system. What is that?
It was just something funny. I mean, we were, of course, having drinks. And I was thinking about, we need to do something with, I don't know what. And, of course, there is this famous thing like need money for Porsche.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what? Let me just steal it. Make something else. And let's try and make money for sound system. Let's put it on a T-shirt. And let's see. We had an event with Supercar Club 2555. It's
Yes.
one of my close friends has this club, and we had an event the next day.
Yeah.
We're like, you know what? Let me have a shirt make, we go to the event, and I wear the T-shirt, and so many people reacted like so nice. That was very funny. So everyone was like asking, I want a T-shirt, want a T-shirt, want a T-shirt. So I had a few, and there were also some girls they invited just to be modeling,
right?
And they asked it as well,
right?
So they wear the T-shirts, they were dancing, and these pictures and videos went everywhere. So it was just something very funny, but now people recognize it.
It's getting you the eyeballs.
Yes, definitely.
Oh yeah. So it's basically once need money for Porsches.
Yeah.
This is part 2 of it.
Exactly.
It's
first you buy the Porsche.
Step.
Yes, exactly.
You get the Porsche, now you need money for the sound system.
Sound system, exactly.
Yeah, it should not stop.
No.
Ryan, pleasure having you on the podcast.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Really had fun.
Definitely. Very interesting. Very nice.
I'm looking forward to the next, when you get the Pagani or the next build that you do, and we want to do a walk around with that.
More than welcome. More than welcome.
Yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
Pleasure, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
City 1016.